Thank you for joining. I hope that you are doing well. How to make your own apple cider vinegar. It is simple and inexpensive. Most of us think of apple cider vinegar as something you buy in a bottle at the store and have never considered making it from scratch. It's a shame because making your own is very easy and inexpensive. Besides, like many products in the market, sometimes store-bought apple cider vinegars come with artificial flavoring and/or chemicals. The majority of them have been pasteurized, which destroys much of the goodness we are after. To put it simply, the super boosting benefits from apple cider vinegar comes from the raw organic stuff. It only takes 3 ingredients to make homemade apple cider vinegar: organic apples, raw organic sugar, and filtered water. Some people like to experiment with different varieties of apples, combining different proportions of sweet, sharp, and bitter. This isn't a bad idea for tweaking the taste, but it's not necessary for making the vinegar itself. You will also need a little bit of patience, as it takes roughly 1 month to make with very little work. First, we need to make hard apple cider. Do this by washing and cutting up apples into small pieces. For this, you can also use the apple skins, cores, and stems. Place them in a glass jar. A quart jar is a great place to start, but you can definitely make larger quantities too. Fill the jar 3/4 of the way with the apple scraps. If you are using a quart jar, mix 2 tablespoons of sugar with 2 cups of water until it's mostly dissolved. Pour this over the apple scraps until they are completely covered, leaving a few inches of room at the top of the jar. Cover the jar with a cheesecloth or coffee filter, secured with a rubber band. Set the jar in a warm, dark place for around 2 weeks. You can give it a stir every few days. After a couple of days, there should be some noticeable bubbling occurring at the top of the mixture. If any brownish or grayish scum develops on the top, simply skim it off. Once 2 weeks has passed, strain the scraps from the liquid. Now it's time to make the vinegar. Transfer the apple cider to a new clean jar with a fresh cheesecloth or coffee filter. Then set the jar aside for another 2 to 4 weeks. In this time, a bit of sediment is likely to collect at the bottom of the jar, and you might notice a gelatinous blob developing on the top of your vinegar. This is the vinegar mother. You'll know your apple cider vinegar is almost complete once it has that unmistakable vinegary smell. At about 3 weeks, start sampling it for the desired flavor. Once you are happy with the taste of your vinegar, simply cap and store it in the refrigerator for as long as you like. It won't go bad. The mother which has formed on top of the vinegar can be used to jumpstart future vinegar batches. You can remove it and store it separately, or you can leave it to float around in the vinegar as it is stored. Since most of us don't have a way to check the acetic acid levels of our homemade vinegar, it's best not to use it for canning or preserving. Better be safe than sorry. Otherwise, use your homemade vinegar just like you would store-bought vinegar for cooking, cleaning, and everything in between. As always, thank you for watching. Good day and good health.